Hello, peeps. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it looks like I don't even need to actually have a stream. Maybe I'll just let it. Maybe I'll just do that. Just say I'm going to stream. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I've seen some speculation. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't having a massive poo. I kind of ended up in a deeper meaningful with someone that I couldn't just leave, and ended up being a bit longer than and so I'm sorry. I had to kind of prioritize my friend, which I should have rescheduled. But yeah, it just kind of ended up being a thing, and it was a conversation I couldn't really just bail out on. So yeah, I'm really sorry. Hey, hello peeps. Right, so hey Daniel, hey Lisa, hey Lindsay, hey Felix, hey Carrie. Hopefully there's not been anybody else I've missed coming and going. Looks like, oh, Haley had fun. It looks like you were having a nice chat between you all anyway. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. That's the first time that's ever happened, and I will hopefully be the last time that ever happens. But yeah, so I do apologise. I'm like 20 minutes late? Oh, terrible. I'm a terrible person. How is everyone doing? So we're doing some community, we're going to pootle around in some community zoo stuff. So I've seen that there's a bunch of changes. Yeah, it was one of those conversations, Daniel, you know, and you kind of have a conversation, you plan to have a conversation. I'm not going to obviously get into any of the specifics, but you plan to have a conversation, and then you get to the bit where you have like all of your stuff said, and then you realise there's like 10 minutes left. And that's kind of what happened. And then I was like, I can't just be like literally have just talked at her for the last hour and then just go, see ya. See ya. So yes, I do apologise. It ended up just being that was the way it ended up being. I'm really sorry. It's good up till this stream was late. Oh dear. Right, so yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of tinkering in this place. And we'll have a quick look at some new bits have been added, new bits have been tinkered with, because Phoenix has been working on it, Siri's been working on it. Some bits of stuff and things have happened. We've got no music, have we? Shall we have... we'll start with a smooth house. Exciting news, I've upgraded my game after 1700 hours of playtime, realised I missed the Komodo, Thompsons and Pygmy Hippos. Well, Thompsons and the Pygmy Hippos were the deluxe edition ones, weren't they? So that's probably a little bit easier to miss. But there's also been some gubbins today, hasn't there? Some news about shall we get rid of all the people? Let's get rid of all the people. There's been some news about a free update. No thing that says actually specific when it's going to be. So let the speculation commence as to when that would be. At least you know there will be a search party out for you if someone pinches you. Bless her. She was like, your peeps will all be waiting. I'm like, it's fine. I'll take the flak. But yeah, so there's been a thing today about, was it today or was it yesterday, about restaurants. I'm trying to get rid of all these goobers. About restaurant shells. So I was going to be working on, well, I was kind of tempted to be working on this today. Because the plan was that this would be like a picnic area with maybe a little restaurant and stuff. A wizard is never late. Exactly, yes. This wasn't my intention. I have seen a bit of your area, Phoenix. Oh, look at this. How cool is this? So I think we need to do a thing, guys. That it needs to be sort of, I guess, sort of subtly done, but everyone needs to like put in the stuff that they've like who's worked on a bit. Yes, exactly. He arrives precisely when he means to, or late, which is what happened. These are cool, man. Good balls and stuff as well. So we've got the fennec foxes and we've got the meerkats, little cheeky meerkats. These were existing ones that have been. I think it was Siri did a bunch of just kind of plugging some holes and filling some things up. It's a nice bit of foliage work and stuff. We've got giraffes in there now. So yeah, we've got some spots open to be tinkered on. I won't go over to your bit then, Phoenix, because I know that bit's new, but it looks good so far. Looks cool so far. Let's get all of these wazzocks out of Mizzou. Sling your hook, get out of Mizzou. How is everyone doing anyway? So I think we can assume like 2 weeks away, maybe, from the next update. Plus DLC, you got to assume, I would think. Okay, they're all out. They're all out. That's good enough. I did a little bit of fiddling with the signage and stuff as well. Yeah, DLC. I mean, there's the fact that they're basically talking about some free changes. Yeah, we've never had a free update happen at the same time that we haven't had a paid DLC. So last year at Christmas we got one as well. So you got to kind of assume. Had to relearn how to play PZ. You hadn't played in 6 months. Cool. Yeah, as I say, it looks good so far. Anyway. So I don't really know how these new things are going to work, so I'm not going to do too much with this. Maybe we just clear it as an area. So now we need to think about this. What is it going to be? Yeah. Well, it seems to me, as I posted on Twitter. It seems very likely it's going to be It seems very likely to me that it's going to be a European DLC. Hold on, I'm just trying to get the screenshot open, guys. 1 sec, so we can have a look. See, where is it? Here we go. Right, so this is the screenshot that they've posted on the forum talking about restaurants. I'm trying to zoom in on that a little bit. So there's a few things. I mean, obviously it's classical. It's a classical theme. It looks like a kind of Tuscany, like a restaurant, right? Like a European, Mediterranean-y kind of place. And it's using the classic set, which they never use. You think it's France? Yeah, maybe. They never use the classic set for anything whenever they do these sorts of screenshots. You can see, obviously, in the background, it's all the temperate environment as well. The temperate biome. So, again, not one that we've seen particularly get used. But the things that are interesting are these little kind of weird bauble things that look like floats, like buoys, like markers in the water for something. We don't know what those are. Obviously, they're talking about restaurants working in the way that the seating works for education points. So over there, let's see if I can zoom in a bit. It's obviously not particularly easy. Over there is what I'm thinking is a vista point. See the little post over in the corner there? But the forum post talks about how these will be similar. That the restaurant areas will work similarly to like vista points. So I don't know what I'm really hoping is that so it's a facility, but you can see inside there that there's like spoons or something hanging up. See, that looks to me like there's cutlery hanging on the back of a wall there. Maybe a knife or something stuck in a board. So I'm hoping this is not a great big massive shell, which it could be. But then apparently you just like link the seating areas to it, and so you can say you want like 3 or 4 seating areas linked to it, and that they have to, as long as they're within like 50 meters or something, they'll use them. So that's kind of interesting. We'll have to see, as I said, we'll have to see kind of what it means. Looks Italian. Off topic, but the House of Batar's Twitter was asking for opinions on the lawnmower function, so they shouldn't be... Yeah, weird that they're going back to the lawnmower, because they did the lawnmower before. They seem obsessed with the lawnmower. Maybe they get lots of feedback about the lawnmower being terrible. Excuse me. Alpine Ibex links Alpine Marmot Golden Eagles. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they like. Do they go? Does it include like Eurasian animals? So do we get like wolverines and stuff like that? Could that be a thing? Ibex I would say is a fairly like Ibex and a lynx you kind of think would be fairly mainstay, fairly obvious ones. I think I'll just do some groundwork for this. I think this would be cool to be a big kind of sitting area. Trying to think how I'm going to do this. Tell you what we could do actually is we could just have these go up slightly. Let's just use one of these a second. So maybe if we did like something on this. Oh, doesn't that work? Does that not work anymore? He's for scale, this guy. He's for scale when you haven't got a person around. I mean, he's kind of huge. It's also a bit of a meme, to be honest, because there were animatronic people in Planet Coaster before, and so it's a bit of a meme that people have like built it in there. Sushi, would it be a shop update like sushi or banquet shop? I think it's just going to be restaurants. I think it's just going to be like yeah, like we've seen. Yeah, he is a chunky monkey, indeed. This is where it tells me I can't do this. No, I can do it. Okay, I thought I could do it with staff buildings as well. What type of community zoo is this? It is a... What do you mean, as in what biome? We're in the Cast Maya map. So it's like kind of... It's a bit of a mix match. Basically, it's all just a bit of a like... It was just supposed to be... I'd never set much of a set of guidelines for it. It was always supposed to just be fairly loose. The idea was really just to get people playing together. So there's no particular setting to it. Oh, I need to do that again. So let's just take that. There was no real theming or anything from me. It was just whatever people wanted to do was what we did. Can I use that? I should be able to use that grid still. I wish it didn't keep putting those on. And it's for anyone that wants to join. It's free to join, so you know, it's just you have to be in the Discord. Oh, actually, I could just use that now, couldn't I? Just use that layer. So I just want to like create a little, I don't know, like a little terraced area. That's not in alignment with the with the patio. Darn. Is this gonna work? Let's see. So I think we'll just create a nice little sitting area up here, and then I'll leave a space for us to eventually fill in a restaurant. So what have I got path here already? Is this why this has been weird? Yes. La 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 la. Shouldn't that work? The path system of joy. There we go. Do I have to use... Maybe I've got to use the same... Maybe I've got to use the same technique. I mean, it doesn't have to be raised. Just thought it'd be cool if it was. Maybe let's not bother. Just making work for myself. Let's just not do it. Unless I lift the terrain, which I could do. I could just put a terrain stamp in there. Let's have a go. Yeah, it seems to me fairly obvious that that must be European DLC. You gotta think it's the European DLC. I would like, if there is a European... I was going to do a video on this, but I don't think I'm going to do it now. Speculating about the animals. I'd like to see things like a pine marten and stuff like that. Like, just stuff that's a little bit less obvious. But yeah, it depends if they decide it's going to be something that ends... You know, is it just Europe, or is it, as I say, is it like Eurasian stuff as well? Oh, I wanted that one. I think I would like to see an update to the education boards, like the CC boards. Yeah, like I mean, actually, that's quite an interesting thought. Never really thought of that, but like an education DLC that's all about beefing up the education stuff. That'd be pretty cool. So I'm going to cover all this over so it doesn't matter that it's messy. Do leaves fall off trees, etc. when seasons change in the game? They do not. It does get snowy though. I can show you snow. The weather effects are all pretty cool actually in the game. Do you switch the file of the zoo or just make or? Yeah, no, we switched the file, so it's all just done. It's pretty casual to be honest. It's all just done on the Discord, so it's like. So the idea was always that someone doesn't keep the file for weeks and weeks and weeks. So when I wanted to stream it tonight, I just went in and picked up the latest file and said checked out. So I've got the file now. And no one else can do anything with it. And then when I've finished, I'll check it back in again. And it's supposed to be that you just do it in that play session. So you don't stop people from doing stuff. You just play when you play, because some people have different time zones, right? So yeah, the snow effect is really cool. Looks really good. And you do get you get snow on the trees and everything, and you get little bare patches of snow where the trees are protecting it and everything. Pretty cool. The rain's pretty good as well. No, it doesn't. And actually what's kind of funny is that it doesn't, there's like no seasons, so the time frame, I don't really know why they decided to do this. They kind of didn't really need to. Maybe it's just in order to have the animals age and things, but like the seasons don't, if you look at the time of year, guests come in and they're in the zoo for months. And like, look, it's taken her days. What's going on? Taken her literally days to walk across there. It would have been really cool if there was actually like a real-time setting, so you could have the seasons. I always thought that would have made sense. And no, animal behaviour isn't affected at all. Again, that would be pretty interesting if they did. Yeah. I guess there's just some things you've got to you've got to let go. But I think that would have been really cool. We were always talking about the conservation of animals, but the information is now 2 years old. Maybe they can add something about the use of palm oil, etc. Interesting, yeah. I think there is a thing on the monkey, the orangutan thing is about palm oil, isn't it? I think the education board. Which one is it? I feel like this is about palm oil, but maybe it's not specifically. They never actually have anything specific. Oh, it's not working for some reason. Okay, forget that idea. It's not working. Small exhibit DLC with education would be nice. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. So what should we make this out of? I guess we could use my floor, my tile floor. It's fairly similar to the other one though. Maybe talk about the separation of animals in zoos rather than the wild. Maybe talk about the seasons, but then on the education boards. Yeah, there's tons of scope for DLCs, I think, outside of just the like regional variations. But yeah, you got to think probably maybe the second week of December. I think that's when we got the aquatic DLC, which is really cool because obviously we've not that long ago had the anniversary. So, and we've got Prehistoric Kingdom starting next week. The beta for that started next week. So there was a new. Oh, these are all blueprinted. There was a new Devlog from them today, talking about the features that will be in in that beta. The big one that I noticed, which was an absolute godsend, is the undo redo, because there's currently no undo redo in there, and that was the one thing that stopped me from playing. And I was like, I can't build without that. There's no way. I need to faff. I need to be able to change my mind multiple times. It's the Binturong who is affected by the use farming of palm oil. Binturong is Asian, isn't it? Yeah. This is a few hundred pieces for this area, which probably didn't massively need it, but hey ho. So I was kind of umming and ahhing about it being Zimba tonight. So depending on how much I kind of feel the groove on this, we might just do a bit of that at some point as well, or instead. But I feel like we're going to enter our. This is the second year that we've been playing this, aren't we? Second year that we've been playing this community zoo. Hey, Mrs. T. Yeah, not too bad. I was late. I was very late. Everyone has thoroughly reprimanded me for it. Let's go there, and then there. Yeah, so what I would really like to see from this new restaurant-y thing is it just being it not being too restrictive. That is the one thing I'm kind of really keen to see, is that they let us have the freedom to make those restaurants kind of big and small. Because I've got one that I was about to start working on in Tigridu as well, which really I just kind of wanted to be like a. Well, I really wanted it to. In fact, I've got one in Zimba as well. I wanted it to be that it's more like just an open air thing, and it's almost like just a little bar. That'd be interesting thing to see, whether we can make it into, like, does it have to be something with like a kitchen? I mean, it would still be useful. Still be useful if it's just like a kitchen. Because I've got the cafe in Tigridu as well that will be cool to give an update to. Trying to think of the timeline. I'm never very good at remembering these sorts of things, but I feel like we usually get the first little hint of a free update. What are we on? Was it on when that was? So was that yesterday or was that today? Can't even remember anymore. My mind is rotten. Does that make sense? Or does it need to go up more? I think that needs to come over. Yeah, hint a week before. They hint a week before they reveal. Yeah, I think that's about right, isn't it? I'm wondering if it's going to be an animal only pack again. I'm really hoping that it's not. Because I think the classic pack does need some love. I think these are all just a bit naff. Some of them a bit too kind of, just a bit too twee, a bit too Main Street-y. I never think that that kind of Main Street style works that well in Planet Zoo. It's far more theme parky. Is that what I want? That's not what I want, is it? Not quite with it yet, peeps. I'll get there, but my brain's slowly switching on. Bernie's Bakery hint to something too. I mean, I guess that was classic as well, though, wasn't it? Goodman House or whatever it was, the very first zoo was a classic theme place, wasn't it? So maybe? Was it Goodman House? Was that it? I can kind of picture it in my head. This was a big kind of like terrace, wasn't there? Steps down. Don't think that second step is set in properly. What do you mean? I can't, if you're talking about that, I can't fix it on that piece. I have to use another piece. Oh. They might just be a bit too shallow, to be honest. I potentially don't even need the to have as many steps as I've got here. I'm better off maybe I'm just better off just having a lower one of these. Oh god. No. Yeah, I think so. I think it's just going to be this one goes down. And there's not this. Hold on. So we've also had to change as well that there's a whole like no dislikes thing, which is so weird. Can't get my head around it. Because I think to you guys it looks like there's no dislikes, but you can still press the button, which I don't really understand the point. Like, what's the point of it? What they were trying to achieve with that? It's very strange. Unless it just is like old videos. Maybe old videos you can still see the dislikes. The Avery pieces. Well, I don't know. Again, I kind of wonder about that as well, because it feels like Christmas is usually a big game-changing one. Oh, you can still see it. Oh yeah, sorry, you can still see it and you can still click it, but you can't see how many other people have disliked it, right? Well, that's the thing, Lisa. That's what I initially thought and was like, oh, okay, I can see the logic in that. But it doesn't work like that because I can still see the dislikes. So yeah, that's all that you guys get is the fact that you can't see if someone else has disliked it, but you can dislike it yourself. So that it doesn't do what I thought it was doing, because you guys know this. I'm like, for some reason I've got someone who just dislikes at least every video, and it's a sub because it happens like instantly. And you can sort of tell like what's going on, but well, the argument is, Carrie, I kind of tend to agree with you most of the time. I tend to agree with you. The argument is, and that some people have been legitimately arguing, is that dislikes actually play a function in sort of tutorials and stuff. So if you've made a tutorial and it's crap, like it doesn't make any sense, or it doesn't actually work, then the dislike button has a function. So that was the initial thought, was like, okay, well that may be, as a sort of disincentive to toxicity, maybe something that we just sacrifice. No, so that's what I thought, Lisa. It's not that at all, because I can still see them. I can still see them, which maybe we're not supposed to say that, but like if you can press the button, what's the point? What's the point in it otherwise? Maybe I shouldn't be saying it, because then, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird thing, a weird decision. Unless the intent is to take it away completely, but I don't know why I just... Most of the time, the dislike button, I think, is more often than not just used to be mean. That certainly is my experience of it. Like, it's not... I don't think most. I think most of the time it is just. It's just an extension of toxicity. Yeah, it's the ultimate. Like I cannot even be bothered to comment. Like a comment is at least a constructive feedback. Wanted to tell you that I love your builds and that you are an incredible source of inspiration for my own. Oh, thank you very much, Star Cooker. That's very nice of you. It's very kind of you. But you are sitting here creating content, no tutorial, entertaining people. If you don't like it, just leave. No. Yes, I agree with that, and it is a shame that people often don't kind of appreciate how much. I mean, it's not. I think it's the same as anything, though, isn't it? It's like it's not. I think largely, if it was an effort to overcome toxicity, then I kind of get it, because everyone's a human being. Everyone's got their own like vulnerabilities and etc. and shit going on, and. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot to push someone to a point where they just get really upset, or like some people, like, if it's just, not naming any names, but there's like people, there can be times at which like this is like a massively important creative outlet. And if you are, yeah, as you say, just if you don't like it, don't watch. That's generally most of the time, and that's actually the thing that makes the most difference. Actually, I don't want to do that, do I? Because I don't know what's going to be back here. But that is the thing that makes the most difference, is to the algorithm and everything. Is the watch time. So if people are not watching, or watching for a very brief amount of time, that's actually a far better way of trolling. I use the dislike button for clickbait misleading videos. Hey J Raffi, yeah, I kind of used to, but unfortunately, and a lot of people don't really realise this, but it is actually just perpetuates the thing, because the dislike is an indication of engagement. And an indication of engagement is better than an indication of nothing. So I don't know how much they do this like actively, but there is a theory that a dislike is better than a nothing. And that actually by disliking you're encouraging more people to see that content, because controversial content is better than better than something that's just kind of irrelevant, doesn't get engaged with. I don't know how much that is true, but there's some theories to that's the case. So what you're better off doing if you really don't like something is immediately just turning off it, just immediately leaving. It's easier said than done though, and there's certainly some stuff that I've more recently than not have either disliked, or in fact I don't generally dislike, but there's been a few things, again not knowing any names, but like commented on recently, which I don't do very often, where I've just thought something was wrong or was like not cool, and I've said something. If you don't like it, leave immediately. No like, no dislike, no comment. But that's only because of Toad's education on it. I did use the dislike and say so in the comments. Yeah, and I think for me, usually, sometimes I will say something in the comments because I actually kind of want to get that thing out of my, you know what I mean? Like, you want to get, I'm not really saying it because I'm trying to like save that person's soul or something. I'm doing it in order to get rid of that feeling from my head, or that, do you know what I mean? Just vent. But I really dislike clickbaity stuff. I mean, unfortunately, it's very rewarding. The thought is that it's very rewarding. I guess we could make a whole like terraced bit, like a arbor and stuff, because we kind of know what's coming effectively. I don't want to go too far with it though. For me, it feels like it's like reading a book to the end and then throw it in the corner and shout, "Blair, such a rubbish book. Why did you read it to the end then?" Well, look at the Steam reviews. I mean, I remember there was always a thing. There was always a thing on Ark Survival Evolved with people that like played for thousands of hours. You could see they played for thousands of hours, and then they wrote a really negative Steam review. Like, you've played it for thousands of hours. How can you be writing a negative Steam review? What shall we use here? I'm trying to guess we haven't really massively got a style. Have we got a foliage? No, this is all kind of just random as well. More tropical, I guess. I was going with this sort of stuff. Maybe some of this. So that's the sage and stuff, isn't it, there? But yeah, watching to the end of a video is an indication that more people should watch that video. That's how the algorithm works. It's just going to give it to more people to watch. So if you think it was crap and you watch it all the way through to the end, fortunately more people are going to see it. I think a like is still significantly more important though. I think a like, but some people actually do. Some people use likes and dislikes as a kind of direction for where their content should go, which is kind of an alright idea. Like you say, if you like speed builds, hit the like button. You know, if you don't like speed builds, I'm trying something new out today. Do you like me doing speed builds, or do you like me doing, I don't know, no commentary playthroughs or something? Do you want to see more of this? Hit the like button or hit the dislike button if you don't. These are just like too green, aren't they? But yeah, broadly speaking, I always think if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. That's the easiest rule of. That's what my mum used to tell me anyway. Got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. It's all subjective anyway, isn't it? I guess everything content-wise is subjective. I think most of the time it's just like if you find something identifiable, especially on a stream, like if you find something identifiable in someone, then that's the nice thing. It's like a little bit of a like, oh, this is somewhere I can kind of feel like I'm amongst my own peeps. This is not my best flower bed, but hey ho. That is from Bambi as well. Is it Thumper? What did I say? It could well be. I don't even know anymore, Carrie. Half of my brain is based on film quotes and that sort of shit. So the rabbit. Yeah, Thumper's the rabbit. What did I say though? What was the quote? Oh, is this as in if you don't say anything? Yeah. Maybe, I don't remember. I think I was emotionally scarred by Bambi, so just removed it from my memory. Hey, Mrs. T. Hey, also, how you doing? We were talking new DLC. We have talked somewhat on new DLC. What's your thoughts on it? My thoughts are that I would like to see a pine marten. We won't get one, but I would like to see a pine marten. Thumper does say that. Old school Disney, man. Just knew its stuff, didn't it? Watership Down. So I went to see my little nephew this weekend, which was really nice. So I have for those of you who don't know, I have a brand new nephew, the first nephew out of my family, or the first. So I have got two brothers, an older brother, and a younger brother. So this is the first nephew. And so we were. What did we watch the other day? We watched something. I mean, me and my older brother were talking about all of the things that we'll be able to introduce him to. And definitely Watership Down won't be one of them, because Watership Down is terrifying. I was thinking about. We were talking about best Disney. I was like, in fact, there was one point I think I was singing Disney songs to him, as you do, because I'm best uncle, obviously. And I was singing I went through a whole bunch, but I was singing the Robin Hood, because that's the best one. That's best Disney. Just updates. You must have thought it was what's she talking about? We usually think that, Mister. I usually think that. Bright eyes burning like fire. Is that from Watership Down? Is it? I don't remember that. Is that because one of them's called Bright Eyes? It is bloody terrifying, though, isn't it? It is absolutely bloody terrifying. I always get mixed up between Watership Down, the rabbits in Watership Down, and the animated version of Animal Farm, because sometimes I just feel like they're quite similar. Is it like Napoleon? Napoleon is one of the pigs, isn't he? From if you swap the rabbits and the pigs, they're basically the same. They're probably not at all, but that's how I remember it. Let's do that as well. Hear this song and it reminds me of the film. Is that the theme tune? Burning like fire. Burning like fire. See, when I was young, my friend said, "Why don't we watch Chucky?" Oh God. Gonna see, we were screaming so loud that the neighbour knocked on her door to ask if we were okay. Yeah, that's the sort of thing you do when you're kids, don't you? You watch sort of. I remember watching RoboCop around my friends, sneaking around my friends to watch RoboCop, and it being like, "Oh my God, this is horrific." That bit when he gets shot, that bit in when he gets because he gets killed really early, doesn't he? The cop gets. It's just brutal. I'm trying to think of the bad guy in RoboCop. I can't think of his name. Tell me what I might do. Just do one of these. Draxler or something like that. But yeah, RoboCop. I can't even remember what his name was. I know his partner's Murphy. Officer Murphy is his little mate. The girl. Or is that him? Maybe that's actually him. Maybe his name is Murphy. Terrifying show, the classical practical effects, 80s kids films like Dark Crystal. Oh, the Labyrinth. The Dark Crystal is a bit weird. Oh, actually, no, the Dark Crystal is terrifying. You're right. Yeah, Tim Curry's the devil in the Dark Crystal. The Dark Crystal that's Tom Cruise, isn't it? They're like gelflings or something. Is that right? I think they're gelflings. How do I have this like bizarre knowledge? I'm pretty sure they're gelflings. That's the species that Tom Cruise is. Clarence Bodica, that's it. Yes. I remember my mum showing me The Fly and explaining how people found that terrifying. I think I've found that pretty terrifying when I first saw it. But then maybe back in the day, back in the day was my back in the day. Labyrinth is amazing. Actually, no, am I mixing up the Dark Crystal and Legend? Oh, I'm not sure. But the Labyrinth is amazing. The young Jennifer Connelly, she's like 14 or something. And then creepy, weird jodhpur wearing Bowie. Oh, yeah, okay. Clarence Bodicker is the central antagonist of the 1987 Rampage is a nefarious and homicidal gang lord who also works for Dick Jones. That's it. Dick Jones is the president. Yes. Oh dear. I guess we'll do that as well. Or Tim Curry in a wheelchair. Is he? Love those movies, but younger people I know today tell me they are terrifying. Cruise was in Legend. Dark Crystal, not Tom Cruise. That's Legend with Tim Curry. Dark Gelflings are Dark Crystal. I've cross contaminated my strange, weird movies. So what's now I've got Willow in there as well. Willow Afgood with Val Kilmer and what's his chops. Little what's his chops. Oh god, you can't say little what's his chops, Toves. That's terrible. Jeez, I can't say little what's his chops. That's awful. That's not PC at all. I can't think of the guy's name now as well. The guy that was in Idiot Abroad with Cole Pilkington. Yeah, Willow's a great film. I watched American Werewolf in London when I was a kid and it terrified me. I don't know if I've actually ever seen it all the way through. My son, 3-year-old, does not like Aladdin at all. He screams at the TV. Oh, man. What's the scary bit in Aladdin? Prince Ali turned out to be merely Aladdin. Watched Poltergeist as a kid. Terrified me. Poltergeist did terrify me as well, to be fair. Warwick Davis, that's it. Hey, Pitsky. Warwick Davis, that's much... Yes. Warwick Davis has had some career, hasn't he? Christy. I hate The Exorcist. The Cave. The Cave it closes. Last really scary film I saw, I think, was what's the one with the eyes on the hands one? What's that one? Guys, like I'm doing a mime. You guys can't see the mime, but I'm being one of the eyes on the hands. I think it's subtitles. I can't remember now. No, why did I say it like that? I can't remember. No, come over all a bit Scottish. They're doing a Willow TV show on Disney Plus. Really? Has it got Warwick Davis in it? Pan's Labyrinth. How did you get that from that? Well done. Yes. Pan's Labyrinth indeed. Did you guys get that from that? I feel like we're dangerously in tune. You all need to be aware of this. You need to be cautious. Don't become dangerously in tune with the Toves because you'll end up in strange places. It's a strange core of the internet. Willow, that's good. I haven't seen that in ages. God, I must watch that. So hang on. So let me go back. So Legend is the one with Tom Cruise. Is that what we said? Legend is the one with Tom Cruise and the Tim Curry devil, massive, great, big, weird, scary, terrifying devil guy. He wants to kill the last unicorn or something, right? Is that right? I remember that right, or is that the Gelfling one? Oh, hang on. Is the Dark Crystal? Are they puppets? It's a puppet. Are they puppets? The eyes on the hands is definitely nightmare fuel. Oh god, I haven't seen that in ages either. Legend has the unicorns. And maybe I just don't. Maybe I'm not really remembering Dark Crystal then. Yeah, it's got Tom Cruise trying to act, isn't it? In Legend, trying to be an actor. Legend is Tom Cruise, Tim Curry, and Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer Connelly's in Legend. Hang on, what? Really? Jennifer Connelly is in oh god, in Labyrinth. Oh no, this is getting really confusing now. Legend is a Ridley Scott film. Oh my god, my mind's been blown. Dark Crystals are the puppets. Yes, okay, cool. Jennifer Connelly. Oh right, good. Yes, Mia Sarah. That's right. Yeah, she's yeah, that's right. She's the more fawny looking one, isn't she? A bit wet, bit kind of like soppy looking. Yes, yeah, got ya. We've crossed Labyrinth there for a moment. I don't remember what happens in it. Sorry, I do remember what happens in it. I don't remember what happens in the other one. The other one that I've now forgotten already. Because it's obviously amazing. They're all basically the same sort of deal though, right? Like some sort of quest-based gubbins. Some quest-based malarkey ensues. It is weird though. I was talking about this with my brother at the weekend. Like some things just not, I just don't get. How come like those films don't get put on telly more? Maybe they're just terrible, but like Neverending Story gets put on the telly quite often. The Neverending Story is not like in the same. It's in the same realm, I would say. Kind of fantasy type stuff. Paranormal Activity. I watched it with my friend. First night living on my own. Upstairs in the attic, the Hoover attachment fell off the handle. We never slept that night. I did a thing when I first watched the Blair Witch Project. There was, you know, the bit in the Blair Witch Project that's all about them like standing in the corner of the room. That's the thing. I was watching it with my brother the first time we watched it, and I'd already seen it, and I stood in the corner of the room. Just as that bit was happening, I didn't realise I'd got up and stood in the corner of the room. It was awful. Young, long-haired brunettes in fantasy films. Yeah, Willow's got Val Kilmer, isn't it, as well? Young, blonde-haired or long-haired brunette. Ba, ba, ba. But yeah, I find it funny that those things. I mean, Labyrinth gets put on quite often, to be fair, because that's amazing. That is an amazing film. What's the name of? Here's a test for everybody. You're not allowed to Google it. Anyone gets it, they get some kudos points. What is the name of the little guide guy? The little dude that's like he's David Bowie's sidekick, what kind of right hand man dude. I'm describing this really well. And he gets sent off to help Does he get sent off to help Jennifer Connelly? I think he gets sent off to disrupt her. What's his name? I was going to get that. Hey Micah, how you doing, buddy? Good to see ya. I think because they are darker, but it seems like kids' movies and maybe today's kids are just ready for that. Aren't ready for that anymore. I watched Paranormal Activity 2 in the cinema about 11 PM. Walking home with a mate was very creepy. Obviously got a laugh at it, but I was pooping myself. Hoggle. Yes, good work. Good work, Phoenix. You get all the kudos points. Hoggle. Hoggle's wicked. It's just so, I mean, it's Jim Henson, right? So it's just like so much good stuff. So much good gubbins in there. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's all pretend that we didn't know the answer when Carrie comes back from asking her hubby. 80s film fantasy is my jam. I have to say. See, that's all that stuff. What were we looking for? Me and my brother were looking for something. What were we looking for at the weekend? We were like, we must watch such and such. And we looked on all of the streaming things. No way of watching it. I noticed you were talking about Paranormal Activity. When I was 9, I saw some of my toys moving. Maybe that was Toy Story, though. Maybe that was Buzz and the gang. You can choose the choose the narrative. I would definitely choose Toy Story World. Yeah, Dobby is Dobby's Harry Potter, isn't it? Harry Potter. So far, we've made a patio area. Good. Let's move on. Shall we make an arbor? Should we do like an arbor thing? I guess. We can always take this down again, can't we? It doesn't have to be. That's not a spell. Does this even kind of makes? I guess it's all right placement wise. I tell you what, I once had. I can't remember what's wrong with me. I was sick. I had something that I was ill with, and I had a really high temperature, and I was hallucinating, and I kept saying to my mum. My mum was really scared because she was like, I kept saying, "Why are you clapping? Why do you keep clapping at me?" And it was because I was tripping. I could swear, completely would swear that she was clapping. So it didn't go on for ages, but it went on for like 30 seconds or something. It's really scary when your brain. I mean, I guess it's different if you've taken some drugs or something. It's different because you kind of know that something is supposed to happen. But if you're completely unaware of it and you hallucinate, it's really pretty scary because you do have a little moment of like your reality is like, what is reality? You're in the Matrix for a second. Sleep paralysis. Yeah, do you get sleep paralysis, Daniel? I've got an ex that used to get sleep paralysis really badly. It was horrific. I get really vivid dreams, but I have really vivid dreams where I know that I'm dreaming. So it's weird because I've had it since I was a little kid, but I basically just I know that I'm dreaming and I can choose to do stuff in the dream because I know I'm in a dream. So if you want to like fly or something, you just do it. You just like decide to fly. I used to have a scary dream, and then when I remember being able to like, once I realised I could do it, I just flew away. When I was working in a daycare, I was alone in a playroom, and the girls were talking about the white lady day that roams around. Oh no, that's just no. It just becomes way more scary if it's little children. I am your daughter. That one's quite scary as well. What's that one called? I am your daughter. What's that one? Nicole Kidman. Is it The Others? That was actually quite scary. It's when they're understated, I always think. Dreams are like... Sorry, not dreams, but films are when they're kind of understatedly scary. They don't show you... As soon as you see the scary stuff, we've said this before. As soon as you see what's supposed to be scary, it's not. Because you can't make something. You can't design something that's scary for everybody. Happened 3 or 4 times, not for a while though. Yeah, super scary. Used to get sleep paralysis as a kid. Haven't had it in years. I was in the kitchen and one of the boys went off, and one of the toys went off. Like a crying baby. One of those little... You suffer from sleep paralysis, but I know when it's happening, so I kind of talk to myself. Yeah, that's a weird one, isn't it? I can imagine that is pretty scary because you suddenly in a state of like you've got no control. Yeah, I'd always been able to like just choose how I wanted to, like a scenario to play out, because I could just... Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I can still do it. I still do it sometimes. I kind of know. I used to know. It's always like a heat thing for me. Like if I'm really hot in bed, then that will be I'll have a dream. And so I used to be able to like just decide to do it as a kid because it was kind of fun. Like you're obviously not choosing what you're starting to have a dream about. Once you become aware of the fact that you're in the dream, you're like, yeah. You're like, oh, I've kind of recognised this scenario, so I wonder what happens if I do this time. I find all that stuff fascinating. I really do. Ba, ba, ba. I have a real paranormal like story. Got sleep paralysis. Demon was covered in bath blood. Bath blood? 10 foot tall, spiky, and had razor sharp teeth. Eek. So different levels you have to go through to wake up. That's the scariest. You think you have finally done it, only for the nightmare to change, and you realise you're actually still sleeping. Yeah, that used to happen to me as well as a kid. Not necessarily in a scary context, but I used to quite often. I think I've said this before. I used to always have these really vivid memories of my mum shouting for me to get up for school and me shouting to say I was already up, and then like realising I was still asleep. Like, you know, her eventually like coming into the room and being like, "Why are you still in bed?" I was like, "I thought I was brushing my teeth. I thought I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth." Watch Steve Huff. Not heard of that. Is that one of those like ghosty chaser dudes? My grandfather was in World War II on the HMS Nabob. Was torpedoed, but he survived. His helmet he wore, and I have a book about the HMS Nabob. Now, those are like more scary, like real life experiences and stuff. One night I was sitting at my computer and the book about the Nabob flew at me in the case the helmet was in cracked. 6 feet away they book hit my leg. Weird. Brother was a nightmare to get up for school when he was in his teens. Yeah, I've never been. I've never been one that's been great at getting up in the mornings. Can we make this like more interesting? Can we make it less just like a square? I guess maybe we just like just put it on an angle. That would be more interesting. I wonder if maybe we do something with like a gap, like a tree. What are these? How many pieces are these? Oh, they're all kind of... Steve Huff talks to the dead. Is it bad? Because sometimes those things are awful, aren't they? There's that... Did I see a little while ago? There was a guy... I think it was a Louis Theroux episode. Can you guys get Louis Theroux in America? So he's like a documentary guy, but he's got a series called Weird Weekends. That's where he originally started, and he doesn't ever really sort of take the piss, but he ends up in some pretty weird situations, as the title would suggest. All I've done there is rotate it. That's no much better. I think we're going to make a little hole in this, put a tree in it. And yeah, he had one where he was like, he met some guys. He met a guy who swore that he was channeling an alien from another planet. A guy called like Klaatu or something like that, I think it was. And it was so funny. It was so funny because the guy, it was obviously just a complete charade. Either the guy was like, didn't know that he was, well, he must have known. It was just nonsense. He was just doing a funny voice and pulling a funny face. He was like, every now and again they just like tune into me and I hear them, and he just went, I am Klaatu from the planet Kafluffy Flap. Hey Siri, how you doing? We've seen some of your new bits. I was going to say, actually, there's some really cool stuff. You should go through and like put like a thing down somewhere that says what you've done, or at least put it in the Discord so that I can kind of credit people for stuff. Because I think you've changed this, haven't you? This is really cool. I think you just like did the boards and things and decorated some of these, made them look more like actual habitats. Just finished them off. Yeah, because that just says Zuv and Chrissy. Remember Derek Akura? Yeah, those things are just nonsense, aren't they? It's just like we all kind of want to believe. That's the thing. We all want to kind of believe. So, you know, we just we go for those things. I've been to see Darren Brown a few times. Yeah, and he doesn't pretend to be anything. He's basically I think he calls himself an illusionist. But he does a lot of stuff that's like, yeah, about, oh, I forgot there's a path there. Oh, I didn't need to do all of that, did I? Okay, well, I'll do it with some mulch. Did I put the path everywhere? I guess we could have some there. Actually, I will do that. Sod it. We'll do that. I won't be moving the last bit, so I'll just put mulch down then. Yeah, and Darren Brown did. I went to see, one of the shows that Darren Brown did was talking about how like evangelical Christian things where they do like a where they pretend to like, or they say they're healing people with the power of Christ and all that sort of thing. This is not a judgment on anyone's religious beliefs or whatever, but like they were talking. He was talking about how it's done and how, you know, suggestibility and all that sort of thing, about how people like wanna kind of go along with the show and all that sort of stuff. That was so the first half of the show was him explaining how it works. The second half of the show was him doing it, and it still worked. There was still people that came up and said they could, like, there was a woman who said she didn't need her glasses at the end of it. I'm just like, this is mad. He's literally just spent the last hour telling you how it all works and what the methods are that he's going to use, and then you still just went along with it. It's mad. It's also terrifying. It's because he does a load of stuff. He does a load of neuro-linguistic programming stuff that's like, basically, if you just, he does it quite often. He does it in a lot of the TV shows, that he'll just create these little moments where you feel a little bit, something feels a little bit off, and you don't realise that you remember something because it's a little bit off. But it'll be something like he'll just kind of like he'll missay a word or something, and that will make that word unconsciously stick in your mind more. Excuse me. That area was already landscaped. I made them into proper habitats with barriers and whatnot, and added the boards. Yeah, they all look really cool. Yeah, he's also just, I mean, this is a big part of it as well. It's just like charisma. He's got some proper amazing like memory skills and things. But he's also just kind of likable, and I think it's also the fact that he feels. I think he said this before. I've got a book of his actually called Happy, which is really good, and it's all about the stories you tell yourself. And it's really good actually, because it like, kind of, you know, sometimes you read something and it kind of just makes sense to you, and you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, because that's kind of how I've kind of always talked to myself. But it's a bit like if you like, I definitely do this. If I have a choice between two things you can't know, I'd always choose the better one. Does that make any sense? So, you know, you've got something you just like, you can't know. It could be, this could have happened because of this or because of this. And whichever, you look at them both and you just go, well, whatever one I want, I can have, because I don't know the answer. So I'll just choose whichever one I prefer. And that's the, like, yeah, that's the story. Just tell yourself a story that fits to what you want. I remember there's a really, really good, my favourite one he's ever done, and it always like chokes me up a little bit. He did I can't remember the name of it now, but it's he did a thing where it's basically all about luck. And he went into this little village in Wales, or maybe even a bit of town actually. I think it was a town. This town in Wales. And he created, like, no one realised he was there, but the show, and no one knew that like they were eventually going to have a show and stuff there. But he planted this dog, this statue of a dog, in a cemetery, and then planted the story in the paper, and got the papers to like. This local paper to cooperate with him that there was a lucky, yeah, the one with the butcher. There's like this is proper like life-changing stuff, some of this. But yeah, so he like created this story that this dog was lucky, and they just invented this whole thing, and apparently the thing was, it was lucky if you touch this dog. That there's this story going around. Basically the whole article was like, there's this story going around of a lucky dog, and then they filmed it. They like secretly filmed it, and just saw all these people just kind of going and starting touching this dog, and it was just like, well, they've just invented this story. And he And then the whole thing was basically about, like, literally the gist was like this thing about kind of whether you choose what choices, like, do you choose, is luck a thing, or is it something that people just choose to feel lucky? If you tell yourself you're lucky, maybe you'll be more lucky. And some people just kind of miss the signals. And then this guy with the butcher, this butcher guy was like, he kept trying to give this guy, was he trying to give this guy money or saying that he'd won something, and he missed every signal every time he tried to give him something to make him feel lucky. Like, I think he even like dropped money into his path and all this sort of stuff, and he just kept missing it. And it was just the whole welcome back. It was just, yeah, the whole thing was like, you know, some people obviously are more lucky than others. Some people have, you know, in terms of like circumstances and things, but luck is just the whole premise of this program was that luck is just a thing that you can help engineer to an extent if you choose to have your eyes open and see opportunities and stuff. And it's a real, like, I don't know, I definitely would recommend it if you haven't seen it. I can't remember what it's called. The Game Show, is it? Oh no, that's a different one. That's a different one. But yeah, I really like him. I think he's super smart. And yeah, more than just like doing tricks as well. But some of them are pretty. I mean, there's that one. He trains a guy. He basically programs a guy to shoot Stephen Fry on a trigger. The guy doesn't know. He's just like, he's at a theatre. Stephen Fry is. You don't know who Stephen Fry is. Stephen Fry is like a really, really popular British figure, just kind of like universally, a little bit like David Attenborough, just universally loved, an institution. And he gets this guy to on a trigger, the Secret of Luck, that's the one, to shoot, just to, he says a word or something gets said and he just stands up and shoots him. It's mad. When you build an enclosure, do you build according to the requirements and needs of the animals, or just because you like the shape and size of the enclosure? Mostly just because I like it, Carrie. What I tend to try and do, if you look at most of my enclosures, end up being a bit small. Because I sometimes feel like they just look a bit more realistic if they're a bit small. But I try and have a blend between the two, in all honesty, because the game is supposed to be fun. I'm not actually building a zoo. I'm playing a game. So if you obsess over the things that make it less fun, and I'm not saying that is the way that everybody does it, but I find it more fun. What's fun about this game is just letting my imagination go, not thinking particularly, not really planning, just letting it do its thing. So no, I don't generally plan in any way. I'll have a bit of a picture, but I like it just being organic, really. I find that more fun, and I find it looks better when I do that as well. What's the one? Is it Dove something? What's the white ones? The I've used them loads in Tigwado. These puppies, dwarf cornels. That's it. It might be a bit big for there. Secret of Luck. Yeah, it's definitely a good one. had a friend who used "that's just my luck" as a positive thing, regarded themselves as lucky because why not? Yeah, I mean, I think that the moral of the story in that thing was that, as you say, it's your choice. It's a choice. And that what tends to happen is you take for granted all the things that are actually good, and you focus on the things that are negative. And then you say, oh, that's just me having bad luck. I'm like, well, yeah, but what about the other 20 things that you've not noticed today that were you just banked, basically? It was a building for the Komodo. When I look at YouTube clips, it looks small, but in PZ they need so much space. Tempted to build a smaller, but then the guests are complaining. I don't care about all the guests. I guess same deal. I don't really care what the guests say. The guests never like anything. The guests all end up saying it's the view. If you make the best habitat you possibly make, the guests end up going, I suppose the view from here is all right. So I don't really care what the guests say, to be honest. I did a bit in franchise. To be fair, when I first started playing, I cared more about what they said. I think that's probably okay, little prepped area for maybe we'll put some lights up. Are they just called? They're just like lights on a rope, aren't they? I can't think of what they're called. The guests never like anything. Yeah, it's true though, Bitsky. It's really true. The guests never like anything. They're moaning all the time. Sodom. Sodalaria. Customer is always wrong. Yeah, I'd much rather. It's the same reason. Like I don't know if I. It's a bit like the realism thing. Like some people take real pleasure in it, and I do quite often. I quite often get comments on like my stuff being really realistic and stuff, and I don't go out of my way to do that. So it sort of doesn't bother me if something looks less realistic, I guess, because I just like yeah. I've found that when I've ever tried. In fact, actually, this is probably one of the only occasions where I've really, really obsessed over a recreation. That was this building. Like, I'm pretty happy with this building now. But I didn't really enjoy building it very much. I stressed over it because I had 2 reference pictures and I really decided that I wanted it to look like those reference pictures. It's not perfect, but at the point where I decided, okay, that was enough of that, just to run away with it, that's when I started enjoying it again. But some people really do enjoy the like meticulous, absolute recreation down to the tiniest little detail. I kind of don't, because I take pleasure in looking at it and going, I've done a good job of that, but it's not the same as playing for the imagination, if you know what I mean. Like, I think that for me, it's more like just when I do something that's a recreation, it's more like just a sort of technical thing, and less imagination-y. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. There's less creativity in it, I think, when I do it. So I just tend to just go with whatever I feel like doing. It's weird those lights suddenly made it look a little bit sort of Chinesey. I think that'll be all right for now. Right, where else? What else can we tinker with? So we could. So I'm not going to do anything back here now because I know there's going to be a building going in here, but we need to know how. We need to know how the restaurants and everything are going to work before we do that. So I'm going to have to park that, I think. Have we done? I've done everything inside, haven't I? Now. We could do a few more signs, I guess. It doesn't need anything else in here, does it? I think I'd finished this all. The coat! Behold! Ugh. I'm trying to do a recreation of my childhood zoo at the moment. Started it once and didn't like it, so now I'm trying to on a grid. So I'll tell you the reason why I don't enjoy that. Well, partially I don't enjoy it because... to say I'm doing a different thing. My brain's doing a different thing. But it's also, I think that I just become a bit obsessive that I'm like, it's not ever going to be right. So that's what kind of kills it for me. Because there's a point at which you just can't recreate it perfectly enough, so you just kind of end up getting, all I do just end up kind of getting annoyed. I love your build of the capuchin monkey in the dome. That made me watch your builds. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I haven't been in the dome for ages. Should we go back to the dome in a minute? Might fancy doing that for a little bit. Yeah, let's have a look at that in a sec. I think I've still got that knocking about somewhere. See how terrible it all looks. I'm going to look at it all now. I'm going to. Oh, why's my game's not working? Okay, so let's do it now then. My game's does that every now and again. It stops letting you interact with stuff. I might have to go back to the menu. But seeing your House Super videos the first time and being super impressed and tried to copy them exactly helped in taking me to that next design level. I get PZ, I'll probably attempt to do the same thing. Thanks, dude. Hang on, what's that relating to? Same. Or that vets do not pick up dead animals. Yeah, they just hoover up the dead animals, don't they? Right, where's this going to be? God, this is going to be ages ago. I've still got loads of stuff that I haven't used. This fennec fox habitat and this meerkat habitat need to go into Zimba at some point. Dome? Oh, it's there. There it is. It's going to take a minute. Copy it then helps my own ideas flow because I know where I can and can't go with things. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I... I don't think I do that. I think I don't do that because I quite enjoy the discovery process of it. Because the thing is, the way I've done something is not the way that everybody... It's not the way you have to do it, right? So you could create something... I don't know. Yeah, interesting. Does that not just end up meaning that your style is my style? Oh my god, Daniel. What's going on? What's going on with the Nightbot spam? It's because you exclamation mark Discord just as she was about to give us the Discord. So much for them all being spaced out nicely anyway. I can't get that right. Cannot get that to work properly. Yeah, this was the first thing that I built in the game that I was actually quite happy with. Will be interesting to see when I look at it now, whether I look at it and go, oh my god, this is terrible. When did I build this? This is 2 years ago then, I guess. And this was the first time that I started to get any videos getting any like decent numbers and things as well. Oh, this was right at the end. Okay, so let's go out. Still not too bad performance wise this as well. Let's go there somewhere. Yeah, I did like this. I built this in a really weird, lots of things going on at the same time. Lots of different, like a weird order of things as well. I still think that the actual dome I'm still happy with. I think it all stands up pretty well. It's like obsessive little bits of like where the glass hits the floor has all got it's got this little ugh, my god, I remember doing that. The actual dome itself, the creation of the dome wasn't too difficult. I think I infuse the stars. I admit there are things you do that I've taken, like clutter. Yeah, clutter's like massively important. Invaluable stuff. Never ended up going anywhere, did it? This was always just supposed to be a one-off thing, so a bit of fire there. A bit of fire. There is a non-PZ content creator that I've followed for 8 years now. I reused these doors the other day. Reused these doors on my Lima dome in the last one-off habitat build. Yeah, alright, this I still don't feel too bad about this. This still looks okay. Has that guy got an eye patch? Oh no, he's got sunglasses on. I thought he had an eye patch. The spoon in the toilet, yeah, that was a... You went to the Eden project. Yeah, it is impressive, isn't it? Did you do the zip line? Never really decided what I was doing with this. It just ended up not being anything. There's some mess, and there's some Z fighting as well. This is like a viewing area. And then we got all the backstage gubbins. Yeah, I still don't mind this. I think I did alright. It's got loads of details, that's all important. As you say, the cluttery bits. It's a shame it never ended up in a zoo. There was talk that at one point I was going to do all the habitats. Why have all those crocodiles just all been unboxed at the same time? there was talk at one point that I was going to do a zoo that was going to be all of the habitats put together. All my one-off habitats all merged into one zoo, but I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it going. I'm missing a sign there. You hate heights. Watched someone making a coat the other week, then he ended up never going back to the channel ever again. Imagine that's the first time you tuned into my channel. Imagine how many unsubs I got that night. I've even put the wiring in. Look, I put all the wiring in. Okay, let's go back through the... I love a back... I do have to say, I do love a backstage. So yeah, this was the first habitat, wasn't it? I built the capuchins. The capuchins. Firstest. Yeah. A few people have nicked this idea since I did it. But it was all supposed to be... In fact, I built the whole thing. Yeah, I remember how I built it all now. Because I built the whole thing and I put all the concrete. 'Cause there's concrete everywhere. Yeah, it was a fun one, I have to say. It was a fun one to work on. I was never totally sure about the floor that I did. But it was a fun one, and they do... Let's unpause it. They do what they're supposed to do. I wonder if they still do it. Where are they all? Yeah, they all come. Look at them all. Charging across. That's so cool. I remember when I realised that they did that, I was like, oh my god, no one's done this before. The monkey bridge. Look at the whole troop. Are there none on the other side? They might all be in the same habitat. So it's 2 habitats. Split. I'm sure there's any... Oh no, there are some. I see one anyway. It took me a while this, because they kept escaping. They kept escaping because I made it all out of bamboo, and obviously all the bamboo is climbable. So I had to keep fiddling with it to stop them all from climbing. And then I think the second island, this was added much later. This little rope bridge. I feel like maybe I didn't do this section straight away. There's definitely something going on because there's less on that side, but hey ho. Those are by pond shrimp. Those are really cool. Little water fountain. Yeah, and I never really continued this idea, but I really wanted all these little things that were like interactive, like games, like educational games. So this one is supposed to be that you stand in the middle. You're a little kid. You stand in the middle. Can you jump out? The monkey can jump 3. How far can you jump? And then you jump and you'd stand there, and then your friend would do it, and they'd jump and they'd stand there. That was what I was thinking. Little steps up to a little view spot. This could all be fixed now because I could put the fence in and stuff, the barriers. This is probably my most clickbaity video that I made because I called it something like... To be fair, I don't think this is clickbait. Debatable. I called it something like adding birds in Planet Zoo. Something like that. Which technically I was adding birds. But obviously that's a little bit clickbaity. It's not a lie, because I was adding I was adding birds, but you could argue that's a little bit clickbaity. My manatee. Where's my manatee? I forgot about my manatee. Look at him. What a weirdo. Oh, something's escaped. Pause. Pretend that never happened. Oh, he's like half. He's half manatee, half. Looks a bit like a muppet, doesn't he? Don't look at him too close. He's shy. Clickbait dislike. I don't think that is clickbait. To be fair, I think clickbait is when you don't have something, when there's no way of justifying what you've called something, or it's just like a negative, I don't know, like they don't like their community title, that sort of thing. Okay, it feels quite laggy now. These didn't work all that well, but these are, again, these would be fixable now because of the barriers. People walking through stuff everywhere. So then there's this little implied looky downy area. It's all pretty tight though. I mean, this is definitely my, I think this is my style of stuff, that it's all just, everything's all a bit squeezed in everywhere. I quite like that little crannies, little nooks and crannies type thing. Yeah, I liked it. I did like the education stuff in this zoo. Anyway, we should probably move back into getting on with something in a sec. That's a bit messy. What's going on there, Toves? Substandard. Is it struggling to? Is it getting a bit choppy for you guys? Looks like it's starting to get a little bit frame droppy. Baby tape here. Oh yeah, forgot about this. All the ant stuff. So I did this great big like implied ant exhibit. That took me absolutely ages. That took me so long. I can't remember. I think I just had a picture. I just had a picture. It's supposed to be that guy, that little ant that's in all those cartoons with the aardvark. It's got, I think it's like a French cartoon. So yeah, this is supposed to be obviously implied, but the idea is that they come along there, crawl down there, go into there, crawl across this big thing. Eat the fruit. That is loosely inspired by something I saw at London Zoo. Yeah, that's right. That's the one. That's the one. So that very occasionally is something that I do for inspiration. Just like I'll just like look up some facts, like 10 interesting facts about something, and then that can be like a little. I mean, that's obviously the whole idea behind this. I found this, that they can lift. Like, imagine if you could lift 50 times your body weight, what it would look like. Oh yeah, we've got more tunnels. So we've got the jag. I bet the jag. Oh no, there's a jaguar right on cue. One in the background there as well. Oh, hello. Yeah, this all turned out. These were caiman crocodiles before they were caimans, so I just used baby crocodiles, baby saltwater crocs. Excuse me. These education boards are actually alright. I never used these again. Yeah, I think the idea once I got to this point was like I wanted it all to feel a little bit less, a little bit more broken downy. So that's what that's all going on. But that you're like getting little layered views. So if you stand here, we probably won't see it, but you can get a view that's got crocodiles here or caimans here, and the jaguars climb down inside that. So it was supposed to be that you're getting like a layer. That actually turned out alright as well. This was my first. Actually, this was my first ever. This was my first ever. I feel like this has got more than 10,000 views on it. I can't really remember now, but I think this was the first video that I had on Planet Zoo that I felt like it was really doing something. Was this jaguar habitat where they climb across? So this jaguar habitat is pretty complicated because they can climb from. They come from all over here. In fact, the backstage of it is back here. There's two sides, two different habitats. They come out of here through this. These guys can then climb up and over there through this section. Oh, that's the end of that habitat. And then the second one comes out from back there again over that tunnel. Through that tunnel. Into this little section and then down that tunnel. Yeah, that one turned out alright as well. That one wasn't too bad. It was starting to get a bit tight though. It's definitely starting to get a bit squeezed, a bit squishy. And then the last bits where I did were this like rainforest thing, which never really sure whether it worked. Jaguar video is 5,600. Maybe it's the bird one. I don't know. I think it was that feeling that I could actually play. I could play Planet Zoo. I think that was the first time that I was like, oh, actually I could play Planet Zoo as well, because it seems like these videos will do all right. I feel like this got built. I think I built this twice. I did this weird mural thing back here twice. It's supposed to be that it was like the road, the city, the roads come in, the rainforest is all getting chopped up. The dome, is that the original dome one? 6,000. Yeah, I think that was the last edition, but I'd already added this little spot up here, which was like an Overwatch spot. Capuchin is 2,800. Yeah, I feel like before I started this series, like for me to get 300 or 400 was a big deal. I think I've got everything. I think I saw everything. Yeah, so that's not too bad. That was nice to have a little revisit. That was the one thing that used to annoy me the hell out of me about this. They used to get I don't know how they get boxed up here. Like, that's not escaped. That's just boxed up onto the roof for some reason. Right, so let's switch back to might switch back to a bit of Zimba, guys. I'm just going to take a quick loo break while it's loading. Do you get new inspiration? Kind of, yeah. I'd quite like to. I've always got so many ideas to be honest, Carrie. Like, there's always more ideas than like I do. there's always loads more ideas than I do. So I'm not good at going back on stuff. I quite like the idea of that being involved somewhere again, because I think it still stands up. And look at it now, it's not too, there's not much that I would go, oh, I wouldn't do that. And I think I played around the idea of like just completely redoing that dome, so having the dome but empty, and then just redoing it. But I just don't think it would feel the same. I think it would feel like, yeah, just not the same creativity. I don't think it would be quite the same thing. Right, sorry, I didn't actually go to the loo, did I? I'm going to go to the loo now. I will leave you guys with some animal somewhere. Elephants, maybe. Yeah, it will never get deleted because that's the beauty of having it on YouTube. And I've got all those videos backed up and stuff, so, and it's on the workshop. Right, I'll just snip to the loo, guys. I'll leave you on this for a second. Hello, Stephen. Does look a bit painful on his toes, doesn't it? I think he's alright. Hey, Swifty! You are late. But I was late as well, so I can't be I can't be too much about that, because I was about 20 minutes late myself. Just thinking, does the elephant do something with that pool? I think it's supposed to. Did he do it? I didn't see him. He's supposed to, it says on the, I think it says on the thing, yeah. I don't know what he's supposed to do with it though. I've not, did we actually see it? No worries, Lisa. Thanks for hanging out. Much appreciated. Right, what were we doing? Was I doing anything in here? I feel like I'm done in here. No, no, no. Does he chew the wood? Well, you would think he would come and whack this little bit of tree down. I don't know what they're supposed to do with it. I've not yet seen them do anything with it. Put the thing together? I don't really know. Do your thing, big fella. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on, guys. One sec. Okay, right. I think we'll tidy up a bit of this messy, horrible gubbins here. I had to work with my piano. No worries, 50. You don't ever feel like you have to apologise. I'm quite happy for anyone to be here at all. To be honest. Anyone being here at all is a bonus. Should we get rid of these? I don't really want to get rid of the benches. This all needs to get fixed though, doesn't it? Look at it. It's awful. Z fighting all over the damn place. You've missed all the conversation about DLC speculation. Feel free to reinitiate it. But yeah, we discussed that already. I wonder if I can I get away with using the path here? I wonder why I have used concrete like this. I wonder why it's taking me so long to delete it all as well. Seems to be taking ages. Might get rid of the benches and the bins and stuff as well. Just really do all that. Yeah, having said not going back over things that I've done before, here I am going back over something that I've done before. I think I would like to see really children's playgrounds as an update. Interesting. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Next week, you think? Maybe. Maybe you're right. Oh! Not that button. Not that button. No, this is tardy. Old school tardy toves from many a year ago. So I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I built this elephant habitat before I built the dome. Disappear. There we go. Yeah, next week. Maybe. I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? So if we reckon second week of December, I guess that would make sense that it would have to get announced next week. What's going on up here then? There's a rock in the middle of the path. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So I just started making sense because I just didn't bother carrying on the path this way. Yesterday was a bit of a surprise. Don't expect to hear this week regarding a free update. No, I didn't either. I'm never very good at keeping up on all that sort of stuff, though, to be honest. I should, because they're always really kind of good videos, those sorts of things. If you can do those update videos, get lots of people watch them, because people are obviously always interested. I always find I struggle to find the motivation to make them. Yeah, I do, Carrie. Well, I mean, I have previously, and I kind of never take it as a given that I'm going to get it, because you never know. But I'm not. I know nothing more than you guys know at this stage. And when I know things that I'm not supposed to tell, I don't generally I just sort of avoid the avoid the conversation about it, so you can tell I'm being honest. But yeah, I have been lucky enough to get the last early access for the last few, so hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, those ones are a bit different. There's sort of I never feel like there's any point in really competing on those, to be fair. I'm not going to lie, it would be lovely. It would be lovely to be in a position where I could make a video about a screenshot, get 10,000 people watch it, but it's not going to happen. Those guys that get that, they've earned it, haven't they? So that's fair enough. They get the easy stuff as well. But there are lots of people that make. There's lots of people that make good, sort of DLC discussion conversations, like Thrive, for example. I think his stuff is. He's good at doing the update videos. I think he probably would admit himself he generally gets better traction out of those sorts of videos. So because the thing, you get to a point where you're kind of like, you're almost a bit known for that sort of thing. Guess we should probably do like themes rather than. And it's quite difficult just to. Well, I personally find it quite difficult to get motivated to do those sorts of things. It's a little bit different on update day. Like the update day, I have definitely done my fair share of just like, look at all the new pieces, because sometimes that is actually quite watchable. So I think I can be quite good at being, I have my days when I'm a bit of a mivery old bugger, but I think genuinely being excited about a DLC when you're getting all the new pieces, that can be quite a, something that's quite fun to watch. But yeah, if it's the choice between making like a video that talks about talks about DLC, potential DLC animals, and all that sort of stuff. I should be better at making those videos, but I'm just kind of not. I struggle to find motivation to do them. It would be nice to have the time to be able to do those videos as well as the build videos. And the build videos always do better for me, but they obviously take way more work. See, the thing with like a video about a DLC, you don't need to have a build behind it. So you obviously need to do work, to do research and get all your assets and stuff, but effectively they're the sort of videos that you can do in a day. I can't really do a video on a build in a day because I somehow can't manage to do it. Actually, it does occasionally happen. The one-off habitat builds quite often happen in a day. If it's just like a flash of inspiration, I'll get it all done in a day. The build, and then the edit obviously is a whole different kettle of fish. Personally, I read that one. Yeah, lovely. Fight to see 5 animals. Some other had as well, and it's so exciting to hear that they were so excited about it and not being able to talk about it. Yeah. What's your animal list, guys? Mine: African crested porcupine, European fallow deer, red deer, Eurasian lynx, wild boar, red fox, fire salamander. I would like to see, I'm going to say it again, I would like to see, I think the lynx and the ibex would be the obvious ones. I would like to see, if we're not going to see any birds, then I would like to see the pine marten. And if we're going to have anything that's like a European-y, if we're going to have Eurasian things, then I'd rather see the Eurasian otter because it's smaller. But also, what was the one I said earlier? Oh, a wolverine. Could be a wolverine. Hoping for the walrus. Yeah, what pack would that have been in though? Would we not have had that in the... I guess that could be in anything, couldn't it? So that could be in any number of different ones. Red River Hog, that's a pretty good one. I did a bunch of research because I was gonna do a video. And there's something called a... Oh, let me see if I can find this. Hold on. Hold on a second, guys. Give me 1 second. As I'm not going to do this video now, I might as well... Hold on. Why is this being such a pain? There we go. So I did a little collection of things that I would like to have seen. Hold on. So there's the... So I was like, if we get birds, I mean, this is not in a narrative format. This is just some random images, like barn owls and things like that. Would be pretty epic. I can't remember what that is. What did it say it was? It's a hold on. What did I say it was? I I can't remember. Doesn't tell me. I can't remember what it's called now. Cool bird, birdie bird, birdie birderton. One of those guys. I think that's a crane of some sort. That's another. That's a crane. Lizard people. Look at that picture of a lynx. That's amazeballs. Porcupine. Yes. It's another fisher bird. I can't remember what that one's called. That's a pine martin. Hold on. Oh, where's he gone? Look at that guy. Look at that little dude. How cute is he? Otter. Not a massive otter. That's an ibex, I think. A porcupine. Goats. Kingfisher. Puffin. Bats. I was going to go into a whole speculation about bats. It could be bats, could be bats. Horse. Spanishy horse. That's the dino I was looking for. What's that guy's name? It's like a Saipa or something like that. Crowned crane. Was that what I just... That was one I had. With the funny hair. With the jazzy hair. Too jazzy? Wolf. Pine martin. Boar. Wolverine. Sega. Yeah, that one. Kozlowski horse. Yeah, you guys are down. You've got them all. You've got them all. Think we'll ever get bats? Bats seem like a doable one, don't they? Like a quite conceivable. Because the thing with bats, you could Sega. That's it. You can very easily imagine bats being able to be just in a in like a prefabbed enclosure box sort of thing. Yeah, I think so, Carrie. To an extent, yeah. You can sort of imagine that. What would we all think about getting fixed like loop animations though? What would we all think about getting Jurassic World Evolution style aviaries? Where there's an element of customization but there's no like AI and there's no real design to it. I think it's just all like kind of on off, isn't it, in Jurassic World? Yeah, fruit bats. God, you gotta have bats, right? Like, what zoo doesn't have bats? Seems like such a normal thing. What did you call it? A loop animation? So loop animation... Basically, loop animation, like rather than pathing AI. So, this is not what they do in the exhibit boxes. Are actually even worse, aren't they? Because they don't animate at all. Most of them, they just a loop animation, as in they just do the same set of animations over and over and over again. And there's no customization to the space that they move around in. They just do the same thing over and over and over again. Like if you watch the dung beetles, for example, the dung beetle will always appear in that same spot. It might take a while for them to get back there, but it'll always appear in that exact same spot. As opposed to build your own habitat, the animal finding its own way around the habitat sort of thing. It just animates on a it makes its own path up, basically. Yeah, it kind of is, I guess. But I think most of the exhibit animals, if you look at the what's the like the stick insect one, leaf cutter or whatever it is, leaf something, it just phases in and out of existence. It basically just appears in one spot and then disappears and then appears in another spot. And most of them do that. There's not actually that many of them that really move very much at all. It would be unrealistic, yeah, but would we accept that? Would we accept that over not having them? I think I would. Not you. See, the way they've done it in Prehistoric Kingdom, I don't know if there's planning to change this, but they have still got a loop animation, but you can remove the box. So it's not quite as rigid. Sounds like me at work on my desk. Vanish should reappear in the kitchen. Vanish, end up in the bathroom. I think if they did birds in aviaries, it is to be the raptors. They barely move through the day IRL compared to parrots and other perching display birds. Yeah, you'd obviously love to see birds. So yeah, the way they've done it so far in Prehistoric Kingdom is that you can switch off the box. So yes, it's still a loop animation, but it feels like you can make it a bit more organic. Feels like you can customize it a bit more. God, this is messy. What even is going on there? What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, I think it would be a bit of a shame, but I can sort of imagine it being what they do, to be honest. So where are we actually going down here? We walk down this path. And then there's another path out. Okay, so that's okay. So it comes in over here. Oh, I can't remember if I did something to this. Oh, I changed this sign slightly. It was massive before, so I made it smaller. I think that was all I did. Might have done a little bit more of this border. I think that's what I did in off stream. Quality just dropped to 1440. Hopefully it's alright for everybody else. Just tell you probably need to do your refresh, dude, just to get rid of it. Right, so what I was going to do, I'm still not really sure what's going on with the terrain and stuff here. God, that was all one group. That was horrific. Oh God, still got more of it. Why is the mulch so high? What are you playing at, Toves? So there's the trouble when you drop a blueprint in, sometimes you just get stuff just doesn't sit right as it was before. Back to 1080, cool. Good. You can actually do that now if you want, because you can just sculpt the path with the barriers, so you don't have to worry too much about it overlapping the curbs now. So yeah, we might see, I guess we might see, what day are we on today? So maybe Monday? So there would be, yeah, okay, so usually there'd be another teaser about something in the free update. So maybe that's Thursday this week? Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about, I certainly haven't heard anything about early access yet. I'm not sure if anybody has, to be honest. I'm not sure. See, what I was thinking of, if you remember Zoo Tycoon 2 or 1, you play something nice for the animal, and enrichment actually you've got a smiley face above the animal. Or even better, the animal does a nice smile for you. You get a nice cheesy grin from your cheetah. Get a smile from a crocodile. God, that's just lazy. I'm being so lazy with that. Okay, right. God, my grouping is horrendous as well. Look at this. Terrible. I think we will hear about the free update either next Tuesday or Wednesday, and the DLC Wednesday or Thursday the week after. Makes sense. So there'll be some other teaser about the free update this week then, potentially, I would say. I think that's how they usually do it. Because they tease the free update first, don't they? They start to reveal that stuff. They get all of that out of the way. And there's usually kind of 2 or 3 features that they tease. What do we all want for free update? I want little quality of life things. I want one-way path. One-way path, staff only path. And then I think I'd like to see more education stuff, but I don't think we'll get that in a free update. More enrichment items for a specific animal or just general? Maybe this week, but I think Frontier will wait at least 2 months since North America DLC. Yeah, I mean the best way to suss it really is just to look at what they did last year, because they mostly tend to follow. They tend to follow a pattern. Whatever the gap between, whatever the Christmas release date was last year, I would surmise would be there or thereabouts this year. I know this is not the most exciting of the contents, guys, but it's quite nice just to chat. I'm not doing anything super exciting building wise, but so I'm still not kind of really in the groove for sure. Never have too many nature items. Yeah, I actually, on that subject, I would like more like indoor plants, like smaller stuff that would work. Maybe we would get that for like decorating a restaurant. I wonder if we'll get any clutter to go with it. Like table dressings and stuff. Wouldn't that be cool? What in the world is going on there? Path is all over the place there as well, look. Ugh. Ugh. Shocking. Oh no. For the giraffe, more enrichment for the giraffe. Missing persons signs for people that have been lost in the zoos. Yeah, that would be cool. I really like that idea. Missing children broadcasts and stuff. You see a little child wandering around crying, and then you see someone come get it, and there's like a, yeah. That'd be really cool. A little thing that does like a little tannoy. Please come to the front entrance. That'd be really fun. My mum was a terrible person, clearly, but she used to do a thing when we used to get lost. Well, I say this. The true story is my little. So I'm the younger of. Well, so I've now got two brothers. One who is 3 years older than me, and one who is. Oh God, what is the age difference? 16 years. 16 years difference. And my older brother, my mum would like send us off to get something in the supermarket, and he used to run. He'd take me away, and we'd be like walking around and looking for this thing, and then suddenly he would just disappear, and he would just run off. He would just do one and leave me terrified and alone in the supermarket. Clearly this is like childhood traumas right here, so I feel like I should get some sympathy. But what did I say I did to him earlier? Well, this is why I did probably why I sort of thing with the Blair Witch Project thing I said earlier. But yeah, so and then eventually we just would get lost and not be able to find our way back to mum. And my mum would have, whenever it didn't happen that often, but every now and again, she would go when she was like ready to leave the supermarket. She'd go to the customer service desk and decide. I'm not going to tell you mine and my brother's first names, but she would change our names into the girl versions of our names. Get them to do that over the tannoy, and obviously they didn't realise. They'd say, I don't know, I'm not going to give you an example, but they changed our names to little girl versions, and then we'd come. And she would find it enormously amusing. The traumas of childhood. Why did I start saying that? I don't even remember why I started telling that now. Ba, 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 ba. Mothers, exactly. Who'd have them? Did anyone ever follow the wrong mum in the supermarket? Then no, and have a panic attack upon realisation. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? It's almost as bad as that. You say call the teacher mum. That's worse. That's the worst one that you can ever do. You call your teacher mum, and all your mates are like, "Hey, your mum's a teacher." My brother was saying the other day that apparently, I don't think I was there, but he told a waitress, accidentally told a waitress that he loved her. In those like accidentally just say the wrong, like the whole like, yeah, your neurons just fail. Neurons just give up. And you say the wrong thing, like when you call the teacher mum accidentally, and I think it was he just meant to say thank you or something, but he said he said love you. Oh dear, which is like utter gold for a a brotherly situation. I remember in a shop once, the lady behind the till said to him something like, I think it was just something like completely innocuous, like, do you want a bag? And he went, oh, would I? I just killed me. I was like, can you be? And that's it. If you're the brother in that situation, that's gold dust. You cannot let that go. Would I? I actually want that bag. Can I? Oh, oh. Would I like a bag? Oh. Probably had to be there, but getting scolded by mum for getting lost when I followed the wrong mum. It was her fault for having a coat that was as common as mug. When I was young, we would get out to the beach or something, and this person was wearing the same jacket as my dad, so they looked the same from behind. And I hugged the guy. Oh no, that's terrible. I remember as a kid visiting my great grandma in hospital. Got to door, looked back, talked to my granddad, went to push open the door, didn't realise a woman had opened it. Oh no! Did you fall on your face? Was it a Del Boy Trotter fall? Sounds like that sort of thing. Most embarrassing moment for me was when my boss leaned in to kiss me on my cheek. Oh no! Oh, that's not too bad. It was and it was a woman, so that's not too bad. That I thought halfway through reading that, I was thinking accidentally let you kiss on the lips. That is got to be far worse. You suddenly turn around and you get a great smacker on the lips. Put my hands on what I thought was my wife's hips from behind in the dark bar. It was another lady. She took it well. Ended up pushing on her breasts. Oh dear. Pushing on her breasts is a great way of expressing it as well. Like a they should have honked like a clown. Honk honk. She took it well. What did she say? Were you being sarcastic? Did she actually smash you in the face? Turn around and smacked you one. Right, what are these things called again? Nitraria. Yeah, these guys. That one was a bit too big. So, what happened to the whole random rotation thing? I thought I never use it, but I thought these things were supposed to just like auto rotate to a different direction. Still adding to that group. Brilliant. Good work, Toves. I thought you were my wife. I'm so sorry. She just laughed. Your wife was like 10 foot away. I can imagine the expression. I can imagine the facial expression on any wife in that situation. Yeah, maybe that one. A few years ago, I did see my friend riding a horse, hung out of the car window, shouted her name and waved at her. She turned around and it wasn't her. Oh no. Tragic. You just want to die in those moments, don't you? You just want to disappear. It's worse when you try and just like try and play it off as what you wanted. That was actually your. So you just I don't know, like you do the you go to wave, but you pretend you're trying to comb your hair or something. That sort of thing is way worse. Just accept that you're a numpty. Just accept you've engaged your numpty side. Oops. Thank you for hanging out, Carrie. Much appreciated. I hope you have a good sleep. Probably won't be too much longer, to be honest, because I'm not really firing on all cylinders, as you can probably tell. I'm all right with the chat. Sometimes I feel like it would just be nice to just turn the game off and just have a chat. I guess we somewhat do that anyway, don't we? As I saw from the 20 minutes late, I could just have turned on the... I guess I could have just turned on the mic. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to fix it up with the barriers. Discord chat night, yeah, maybe. I've been thinking about doing a movie thing at some point. Probably in the new year, if I don't get a job. So my wife and the lady was within earshot. They looked at each other and sort of rolled eyes, laughed. I think my wife apologised to her on behalf of her blinded husband. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a movie night because I think that'd be quite fun. But I might have to... well, it sounds like we've got some kindred spirits on the movie. I think it won't be like things that maybe Willow. Maybe we should have Willow. I think it's got to be stuff that I can get on Amazon though. I don't really know how it works because basically I'm broadcasting effectively because I broadcast it on the Discord. Cheers, Siri. Thanks for hanging out. Much appreciated. Thanks for all your work on the... I have to remember to check it back in again, actually. Thanks for all your work on the community zoo. It's looking really great. Barrier. Yes, and on that note, before I forget, if there's anyone who wants to join in that community zoo, there's still some open slots there, so you just got to be in the Discord. Because there's always peeps that watch this, obviously after the deal. Do a movie like with Labyrinth. See, that I think is the perfect sort of thing. Yeah, I'll have to do some research as to how it works. Whether I can just like do it or quite sure how it works. I know there's a bunch of people that do it. I know there's I know a few people that do movie gubbins. I don't know if it's one of those things that's just like, you know, it's not really allowed, but just kind of you do it and it doesn't really matter. No one will ever know. Run up to Paul Nichols. Paul Nichols. Which one's Paul Nichols? Sing along a Labyrinth. Defo. Paul, I'm trying to think who Paul Nichols is. What's the name of the... Is he not in it anymore, is he? Local as the thinking I knew from school was right up in his face about to say hi when I realised, oh no. Oh god. Yeah, that's sort of a bit of a like, yeah, you're not famous for me to be actually sure who you are as well. You're not quite famous enough for me to actually know who you are, but for me to accidentally mistake you for one of my friends, someone I knew. Hey Milk Bun, how you doing? Remind me of the Babe is exactly where I was in my head as well. Can't think of much of the other. Oh, Dance Magic Dance. Dance Magic Dance. Yeah. I won't be wearing jumpers. Joe Wicks. Yeah, that rings a bell. Wixie. Wixie, right? Yeah. Dance, magic dance. I'm going to have to find Willow. I'm going to need to find Willow. I bet Willow is one of those ones you could probably watch straight off of YouTube. But yeah, we might do this in the new year, guys. It might be a thing. Let's see. We shall see. Do, 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 do. You just watched Labyrinth the other day. Brilliant. Good person. good one. Good one. Such a good film. I mean, yeah, just the Jim Henson-y gubbins. Speaking of which, we're in the Muppets Christmas Carol season, so that needs to happen as well. Do, 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 do. My partner and I watch Labyrinth several times in the background while we do housework, just to sing along. Nice. What an idyllic existence that is. It's the stuff of dreams right there, Phoenix Hawker. See, I need to find me one of them people. I need to find me a partner that will sing along with Labyrinth. I've never had one of those. That's where I'm going wrong. Cheers, Daniel. Thanks, buddy. I hope we catch you on Thursday. But with Jurassic Park, yeah, Jurassic Park, you can. Well, you can't really sing along, although I guess you can make up your own lyrics. I watched Neverending. I definitely sang along to a Neverending Story the other day when that was on. Is that just flying? Yeah, that's good. Good work. Muppets Christmas Carol, a version of the story I watch every year. Yes. See, I've got all of this joy to come with my new nephew because all of that stuff is brands new. I cannot wait. It's obviously going to be a while before he has a clue what's going on, but maybe second Christmas? Do you reckon second Christmas they kind of know a bit more what's going on? Da, 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 da. Never seen it? Oh, you've got to. Classic. You got to get past the. You get past the hammy Michael Caine acting. The rest of it, I mean. Yeah, there's so many. I'm not going to start singing Muppets Christmas Carol, but I'm tempted. I forget that these things can be clipped now as well, so it's alright, the anonymity of it being hidden in a 4-hour stream, but when it's something that you can clip and just suddenly have it shared everywhere. Congrats on the new family member. Yeah, it's exciting. It's quite exciting. How chunky did baby nephew seem since last time you saw him? Pretty. I mean, he's got all his like head control now. He's not like a. He's still a bit like bobbly head. I kept calling him like a bobbly head. He looks like Winston Churchill though. He's got that like, you know, he's got a. Hey Jay Rassick, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, not bad. I bet you're looking forward to next week. PK Monday, right? I think it is Monday at 9 p.m. UK time. So I think it's daytime. I think it's like daytime PST, 2 p.m. PST or something like that. I think it is. What am I looking for here, guys? Oh right, yeah, I wasn't supposed to be in there. I was supposed to be looking for Temple Rubble. So we're definitely gonna have to get back into Prehistoric Kingdom. Well, it'll be interesting to see because depending on when the DLC comes out for PZ, maybe we'll have free plate spinning. Excited, would have been more excited if I had a beta. Is it do I owe you? Is it you that's got a key off me? Is it not you? Who do I owe a key to someone? I thought it was you, but it's obviously not. I thought it was you, which is why I was saying I thought you were looking forward to it next week. You didn't win it. Who's that then? I mean, I've got it somewhere. I know. I'm sure they'll remind me. Yeah, I don't really know why they decided to do the thing where they stop people from buying more keys. Like, why would ya? From the sounds of it, though, they're planning the step from beta to I'm sure you would. Beta to early access to be a lot less, a lot quicker. I think that's what they're planning. But they've also talking about, yeah, because alpha got kind of stale quite quickly because there wasn't a lot of. Well, for one thing, that the building mechanics weren't quite there. Prehistoric Kingdom milk bun. So it's basically it's Planet Zoo, but with dinosaurs, really, and it's actually got a few really good mechanics. There's a video on my channel that's like a breakdown of the features of Prehistoric Kingdom. I think it's like 15 reasons to be excited by Prehistoric Kingdom or something like that. It's got a lot of things that are superior to Planet Zoo, to be fair. It's got things like well, I mean there's a bunch, but one in particular, the fact that pathing by guests can just walk on things. So imagine you've got a bridge. You don't have to build a bridge out of pathway. You bring the path up to the edge of the bridge, and then on the other side of the bridge you have a piece of path. The guests will just work that out for themselves and walk over the top of it. That, like, alone is worth the money for me. I'm not that bothered about the dinosaurs, to be fair, but I was never like, all of these things are just a way of building stuff, playing in a. Thank you, Lidsey, you're a legend. Yeah, and I did a few streams and things on it as well, but not loads. Yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's really cool. It's got a really cool. I mean, but as Jurassic just said, they're not. You can't actually get access to it yet. They did a really ages ago. They did a thing that was like, oh, what do you call it? Oh, what do you call it when you? Is it crowdfunding? Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. They did like a crowd funding thing, and you could buy access to alpha and beta. It was quite expensive actually. It was like 80 quid or something, which is probably why they haven't continued to sell them. It's a lot of Temple Rubble going down, but I do kind of like it. I think it makes a big difference. But yeah, it's got a load of really cool build features that are massively superior. The fact that you can like change everything can be gridded and non-gridded as well, so you can toggle off whether something is a gridded piece. You can retexture something after you've placed it, so you can build a building as a shell and then go, actually I want that all in wood now. But yeah, I will definitely be covering it from Monday. Well, it depends when it comes out actually. I think it's 9 PM it comes out, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. It might be Tuesday next week, so it'll probably be in this slot next week. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's kind of everything that I'd wish that Jurassic World Evolution had been, to be honest. They talked in the patch notes today about there being that they have completely overhauled the modular build system in there, so we shall to see what that entails now. When they first started showing it, most people in the Planet Zoo community who were interested said, this looks a lot like they've been paying close attention to Planet Zoo and have basically put as many of the features that people have been asking for in Planet Zoo into Prehistoric Kingdom. I think the only thing potentially that I would say, but it's a harder, I guess it's a different subject matter. I think so far from what I've seen, I think I prefer the animal animations of Frontier, but we haven't seen much in there of their work yet, to be fair. And it's also probably just a bit easier to do animals we're familiar with than it is to do dinosaurs. That brings me back to the Zoo Tycoon 1 days of the Dino DLC. Yeah, see, I never played any of those. Gets talked about a lot in the PZ community, obviously. I can't remember. Oh, did I ever play any of the Tycoon games? Oh, am I going all the way around here? I don't know if I can be bothered. We'll just block this off. Excuse me, hiccups. Even now, do they still stand up? Even now, or they probably look a bit dated now, don't they? Yeah, I've definitely had my time where I've really enjoyed. I have really enjoyed management games. But they don't. I don't know. They don't keep me going now. I tend to get bored of them. How am I getting this corner nice? I don't want it to do that. See, it's doing this like... Oh. Stay bulbous. There. Still not great, is it? Dance, magic dance. I feel like I have played a Tycoon game. I don't know if they're all from the same, like in the same... I don't know if have I ever played a zoo, an old school zoo game? The only thing that I can think of that comes to the top of my head was Theme Park. That is like really old. I used to really like SimCity and stuff like that. I could have quite happily lost loads of time in those. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah, I never really got into that either. I tried it when they did, because they did the remaster or something recently, didn't they? I got a key for that and I tried it. The trouble is, I think when you've played, if you've played those games in the past, you can kind of, like, the nostalgia value of it can pull you through the jankiness, if you know what I mean. But if you've never played that and you don't have the jankiness, so you don't have the nostalgia, I struggle. I'm snooty. I just look at them and I'm like, oh no, they don't look good enough. Look at the terrible graphics. No. It's the same as Minecraft for me. Like, I'd never get into Minecraft because I'm a snoot. SimCity 2000. Oh, reticulating splines. Yeah. Good one. SimCity 2000 was an amazing game. Reticulating splines. That's a good one. I don't even know what that means, but I remember it well. That's such a good one. I remember. I feel like I played SimCity 4. I might even have played SimCity 2. I'm that old. I'm actually that old. I feel like I played SimCity 2. I don't think I played SimCity 1. I can't remember. I feel like SimCity 1 was probably on... I bet it was on Amiga. I bet it wasn't even on a PC. Oh god. MS-DOS based, I bet it was. I remember, this is going to sound mad to any youngsters. I remember when you used to have to exit out of Windows to play games. You used to have to go out and you used to have to type into the command prompts in DOS. You used to have to type the name of the game and then like you just typed in like SimCity.exe and it ran. God, that seems mad. You used to exit Windows. Ba 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 da ba ba. It's kind of weird though when you think about it. I mean, some of that stuff you like. Yeah, definitely am. If I think about, maybe this isn't right, but if I think about the difference between the ages of, I don't know when my first. We had an Amiga. We had an Amiga 500. I think I've said this before on stream, but I remember getting for Christmas, the big Christmas present we got a 0.5 megabyte RAM upgrade. 0.5 megabyte. That was our big present at Christmas. And it went, so our Amiga 500 went from being a 0.5 megabyte RAM computer to being a 1 megabyte RAM computer. And that was like a whole new world. It opened up all sorts of new games that you could play. Floppy disk based, obviously. But yeah, it's weird because when I think about that, I'm like, okay, so the difference between that first, what I remember as being the first kind of 10 years, feels like it's not computers haven't changed as much, but maybe they have in the last 10 years. If I think about, 4 megabytes of RAM, 129 megabytes of H. I remember the first computer we ever had was like my mum had like a word processor, and it had those big discs that you had like a little thing that you put across, you kind of like folded down a thing that stopped the disc from popping out of the drive. And it had it was black. It was a black screen. The screen was black with green writing on it. That was all. That was what you got. And it had a daisy wheel printer. So all the pages had like perforated rings on the edges of them, so that all the paper was stuck together. So you had to like rip it off of the. When you printed something out, you'd print it out, and you'd have to rip it off of the ream. I'm not even sure I like this barrier, to be honest, but it can stay for now. This definitely looks better. This is the second stream we've worked on this, but I think this is definitely looking better. Still needs a little bit of love. But I'm going to have to leave you peeps, I'm afraid, because I'm getting a bit burned out now. Pretty sure it's not been a very long one, but I'm still a bit rusty on the old PZ. I'm desperately trying to find my groove again. I will find it. I will find it, and we will be back in the groove. Still got to do all this internal plaza bit. But yeah, that's going to be it, peeps. Thank you very much for hanging out. Fun as ever. Apologies again for being late. I'm shocking. A tardy toves. Black with orange writing. Yeah, no, it was black. I think it was black with green writing. See if I can find a picture. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the like button. Much appreciated. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.